What's going on, YouTube? Just wanted to check in with you guys real quick to discuss the 2020 GT500. It's a little something that was kind of on my mind ever since the reveal of the car this week. I noticed that for the most part, other than the transmission, which we can talk about later, the response has been pretty positive. You know, 700 plus horsepower, supercharged, good suspension, sticky tires, functional aero. You know, it's great. People are loving it. People are eating it up, you know. But I couldn't help but notice that there was something that was kind of familiar about the 2020 GT500. You know, they kept using this red GT500 in a lot of the press photos, and thinking, where have I seen this before? A red S550 with handling suspension, big brakes, wide wheels, sticky tires, functional aero, wing in the back, splitter and canards in the front, vented hood, supercharged Coyote-ish engine, 700 plus horsepower. Sounds a lot like my old car that I built 2 years ago that I called the Turtle. I used to get so much flack for that car. People would make fun of, you know, why would you make a Mustang that handles? Why would you put a wing on a Mustang? You know, that apparently Mustangs only go straight. You don't need all that downforce. People say, oh, that, you know, splitter and the canards and the wing, that stuff only works on a racetrack. And I gotta say, while I've got your attention here, this always cracked me up. The aero only makes sense on a racetrack. So I live about an hour away from Sebring International Raceway, okay? So apparently, if I'm doing, let's say, 150-ish miles per hour down the straightaway at Sebring, the aero works there. I talked to an engineer one time that was involved with Roush, and he said that the aero on the GT4 Mustang, which was sort of an inspiration of mine, he said it made 1,000 pounds of downforce. I mean, that's actually very impressive, and that's a lot of downforce. That's something you can feel. But anyway, according to these people that are saying, well, you don't need aero if it's not a track car. So I'm thinking, an hour away from my house, if I'm doing 150 miles an hour, the aero helps. But miraculously, as soon as I drive over that bridge at Sebring and I come out, you know, through the gate and then I pull out onto the highway, you know, on 27, if I was to do 150 miles an hour there on 27, then miraculously the aero doesn't work anymore. At least that's what these people would have you believe if you listen to them about this, you don't need aero on a street car. Now, the fact is, not that I would ever break the law. I mean, you know, obviously I really live in Mexico and all of this stuff is, you know, perfectly legal down there. But anyway, the truth of the matter is that the only times I ever took the car out of the garage was pretty much because I was going to go racing somewhere, and the top of fifth gear in that car, I think it was right around 160 miles an hour, and it's pretty much just about every time that car left my garage, it would see 150 miles an hour. So I don't really get how, you know, the functional aero on the Turtle was overkill and only needed for a track car, even though I drove it like I was on the track, you know, when I was out in Mexico. But somehow the 2020 GT500 gets a free pass. You know, it has the big carbon fiber wing, you know, the splitter, the canards and all that. It's the best Mustang that was ever produced, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. I mean, I did that 2 years ago. Another thing to point out is that there were development video or pictures that came out, I want to say maybe a year or two ago. Some pictures got leaked of like a development mule for the GT500 program. And it actually even had the same forged line wheels. Like, I mean, the same model forged line wheels that I had on the Turtle. They actually had on the GT500 development mule. So, I mean, it's almost like, now bear with me. I'm not saying that Ford copied my car. That's not what I'm saying. But it feels like some of the elements that I incorporated into my car 2 years ago actually got rolled into the 2020 GT500. I know some people that are involved in Ford Performance. I mean, you know, for corporate. I know at least one of the people is familiar with my car, had seen my car, liked my car. And I'm not saying that that's, again, I'm not saying that they said Sharad's car is so good that we should, you know, incorporate these things into the GT500. I'm just saying, if it didn't influence it a little bit, it's just a huge coincidence, because a lot of the same stuff that I did on my car 2 years ago got included into the 2020 GT500. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to share with you guys, to unburden myself about. One thing that I'll point out really quickly, just while I have you guys here, is the people hating on the transmission. Listen, this is the first time that they finally put a proper transmission into a Mustang in, you know, the entire history of the Mustang. Go sit in a Lamborghini, go sit in a Ferrari, you know, these exotic European cars that have dual clutch transmissions. The shifter looks just like the shifter in the 2020 GT500. I mean, it is, you know, by virtue of how the system works. I mean, it is essentially just a selector between, you know, park, reverse, neutral, and drive. I mean, you know, you do everything with the paddles. So it's not like you need some fancy, elaborate looking shifter in the center console, when essentially all you're doing is telling it to go forward or backwards. You know, everything else is on the paddles. So, you know, I don't really get why the hate for the transmission. But that's about it. That's everything I wanted to say about the coincidence between some of the specs on the Turtle and the 2020 GT500 that was released this week. And I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and add a couple photos here in the end of the video to show you guys some of the things that I'm actually comparing between my car and the new car. Why don't you guys go ahead and slide into the comments below. Let me know what you think. Am I crazy? Am I just ahead of my time? What did you like about the car? What did you not like about either my car or the GT500? And if you like the video or any of the other ones you see on my account, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'll get back to making some more videos for you guys. Thanks.